Hi and welcome to this video. Today I'll be discussing mistakes that you might be making as a role player without even noticing, and how you can improve on your shortcomings. A lot of professional role players can make mistakes without even noticing, and it's completely normal, and we all make them as role players. This video is directly intended to help you improve and learn from your mistakes. Number 1. Not including yourself. I quite commonly see role players sitting there waiting for another player to strike up a conversation, and in some cases, this can happen, but most of the other role players are probably within the same mindset, waiting for someone to pop up to them and have the same anxiety you might be feeling. Think about it. If there's just a group of people waiting for someone to walk up to them, no one is going to talk to each other, and the roleplay is going to get dry and boring, and everyone will end up leaving. It can be scary walking up to people at first, but I promise you, it's not as bad as it feels. It concerns me because I quite commonly see role players avoiding to intrude on others' roleplays, and role players who do are often looked at as noobs, but this isn't the case at all. Intruding on others' roleplays can cause drama and is important for the conflict of the story. So don't be afraid to jump into a roleplay and cause chaos. Only one player joining a roleplay can change the entire roleplay's direction, and it might just be the thing the roleplay needs. It's also important to include yourself, because I see a lot of role players being left behind from roleplays or ignored, and this is partly the roleplay's fault, but not entirely, since most of the role players are most likely caught up in their conversations or the drama. You can't expect them to try and talk to you or include you, especially if you aren't talking or interacting with anyone. Try to interact with them, and you'll find you get included much more. Number 2. Knowing how to describe actions is useless without knowing body language. This is a controversial topic, but no matter how good your words or phrases are, you'll find without knowing poses and how to pose your character, you'll be stuck not knowing what action to do next. It's important to understand how your character poses and their actions to properly express them, or you might find yourself in a loop of repeating previous poses. Knowing your character's body language and how they pose can help you and other players better understand your character. And with testing different poses can also help you learn how to describe better. A little exercise you can do to fix this mistake is to go and find pictures of characters with similar personality traits to your OC and take a moment to write down how you would express and describe that pose. And the more you practice this, these poses will naturally stick to your memory, and thinking about poses will be like a piece of cake. Number 3. Don't be afraid to make long sentences. Keeping your sentences short can actually make you seem less professional and make your actions fail to draw people in. I think it's good to try to make your sentences longer but still keep a limit. I'd like to give a quick example. Let's fix this real quick. This is and start. but could still use some improvement. Notice how right away you get a better picture in your head of the expression taking place. And if you want to go really professional, you could use your character's name. Now, there's just one rule to this to keep your sentences at the perfect length. If you are to do a simple action like waving, it's better to make your sentence as long as you feel, because this action does not have that much movement to describe. Your sentences will probably not be too long anyways, keeping it at the perfect length. Now, if you were to do a action like this, notice how many multiple things you'd have to describe if you described every single one of these actions precisely. There would be no room for you to type, also making it hard for other players to read your sentence, making it uneasy to understand. Ultimately, people would just end up skipping over your sentence and avoiding you altogether because of their difficulties reading it all at once. I'm not saying to make your sentences short, that is the opposite of my point, but it's important to know the difference between long and over-exaggerated. When describing small actions like grabbing a cup, it's good to attempt to try and make your sentences as long as you can. But when describing many actions at once, try and cut out a couple words and stick to a point. Thank you for watching this video. I hope these tips helped you improve. And let me know if you want to see more.